Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. Everybody guys, our team builder for week 1 of Pokemon for Glory, the P4G, our brand new league that we just joined. If you guys missed the draft stream, I did a draft breakdown where I talked about all of our picks, our team, and all that good stuff. And we are ready to jump into our first week of matches. We're going to be taking on every single coach in the league one time for 15 total weeks of matches. And we're kicking things off with KyleAye, the owner of the league, and the Miami Donphan. Now, I've played Kyle a few times in the NPA, and I believe we've come out on top every time so far, but he's got a very tough team. This is probably a really tough build, actually, for us. I spent a good amount of time trying to prep for this one, and it was a tricky one because he's got a couple specific Pokemon that are really good against my team, and I'm glad I won't have to face him again after today because some of them are pretty tricky, like I mentioned. But if you guys are hyped for the P4G starting up, hit that like button down below. Definitely make sure you guys subscribe for new matches will be going up on Saturdays. I also have my NPA Championship match going up this week. I may have that go up on Sunday or this go up on Sunday, so if it gets flipped around, don't be too freaked out about it. It's just I don't think I want both going up on the same day. It's just a lot, but that's the plan. So let's take a look at Kyle's team. He's got a Mega Blastoise, which is his first round pick. Very bulky Pokemon, Rapid Spinner, Hazard Remover. You got the idea there. Hits really, really hard with water type moves, gets coverage like Dark Pulse and Aura Sphere, things like that. He's also got a Latios. We have Latias, of course, but he has a Latios, which is one of his Z move users, which are kind of grayed out there if you look on the little thing. Latios. He's got a Dugtrio, which is another Z mover. That's his like super Z user, basically for Z Memento, which can be a trapper. Very, very difficult to deal with, especially when you have a Pokemon like Tapu Koko. He's got an Alolan Marowak, which is pretty slow, but hits very, very hard. Spin blocking monster, good fire type and ghost type, and it, like I said, with Thick Club, it just hits really hard. Scolipede, which kind of rips our team alive in some ways because of its speed boost ability. He can baton pass in this league, but only speed, not speed plus other stats, or only its stats. So like he can pass attack but no speed with it. So I fully expect potential speed passing Scolipede, or Scolipede in general. Zoroark is kind of annoying because it makes me have to guess what it is. But otherwise, 105 base speed, get some good coverage options, Dark type. Ninetales, of course. Aurora Veil with Scolipede is very scary, really. The setup options there are pretty abundant, and I have to be very cautious how I play through this match. But otherwise, we know Ninetales pretty well, right? It doesn't hit incredibly hard, but it does have Blizzard, Freeze Dry, Dark Pulse, Encore, things like that. Serperior, another Pokemon that's pretty scary, man. You got this thing like late in the draft, but it's a very good Pokemon. 113 base speed, it's pretty fast, hits really hard, obviously. Once it gets the contrary boost going, initially it's not that strong, but once it gets a couple boosts, it can be really difficult to beat. Manectric, 105 base speed, relatively fast electric type Pokemon with Lightning Rod, which can shut down things like Tapu Koko. He's got a Bouffalant, which is just a hard-hitting wall-breaking normal type with Head Charge, and Rampardos, hard-hitting rock type wall breaker in a way. It could be like a sweeper with Rock Polish. In terms of what I'm expecting him to bring, I think we're definitely going to see Scolipede. Scolipede is for sure. I think we're going to see Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is one of the best Tapu Koko counters in the game, obviously with Lightning Rod, making him immune to electric type moves, taking fairy type moves with like Dazzling Gleam and stuff like that, resisting that with his fire typing. So I think we're going to see Scolipede and Alolan Marowak. Those two Pokemon are really, really clutch for him, and I think they're kind of important. I think we may see Dugtrio. Dugtrio, the reason why I think we may see it is because he may think Alolan Marowak is enough to handle Tapu Koko, but he may also bring like a Scarf Dugtrio to take on Beedrill and to take on Koko, because a Scarf Beedrill or a Scarf Dugtrio would outspeed both of those and obviously obliterate them. So I'm pretty sure Scolipede, Marowak. I think we're going to see Latios. It just makes sense against my team. Latios is a really good Pokemon. I think we're going to see Ninetales. So 4 out of the 6 I feel pretty confident. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to see Blastoise, and I think we're going to see Serperior. So I think it'll be Blastoise, Latios, Marowak's Scolipede, and Ninetales, and the last slot would be either Serperior or Dugtrio. That's my guess. I don't think we're going to see Manectric, Bouffalant, or Rampardos, and Zoroark is a maybe. So that's kind of what my thought process is there. So let's talk about our team, what we're bringing, why we're bringing it, and so on and so forth. So the first Pokemon I'm bringing is kind of weird, but that Scolipede is such a huge threat for my team. I don't really have a good response to it. So I'm going to be bringing Fox here, the Moltres, level 50 Moltres with max HP, max defense. His team is very fast, with the exception of Blastoise, Marowak, Bouffalant, and Rampardos. So I'm not going to outspeed anything on his team except for those 4 Pokemon. And I'm going to be faster than Mega Blastoise without speed investment. And I'm going to be faster than Alolan Marowak without speed investment. So there was no real point to putting speed on this thing. So I went max HP, max defense, With Flame Body gives me a 30% chance to burn the Scolipede if he Poison Jabs or Mega Horns me. I've got the Charty Berry on there, which is going to reduce the damage from Rock type moves, so I can take a Rock type hit from the Scolipede if he decides to run Hidden Power Rock on his Ninetales or on his Superior. I can take the hits from both of those. We've got Flamethrower there, which one-shots Scolipede all the time. It does a good amount of damage to Ninetales, almost one-shots it. After Rocks it does, and same with Superior. If he doesn't have HP investment, Flamethrower knocks it out after Rocks damage, and Hurricane is there for the Alolan Marowak to hit that thing incredibly hard. Obviously, we have a chance to miss, 30% chance to miss, but 70% chance to hit, so I like our odds there, and it's just a powerful move. U-Turn is there for Momentum, and Roost is there just to kind of keep this thing alive. Obviously, Stealth Rocks are a problem if he sets up Stealth Rocks early game. Moltres' usefulness is going to be reduced drastically, but I can predict his Stealth Rocks users. It's either Dugtrio or Marowak, so I know that right off the bat, or Rampardos, which I don't think he's bringing. So if I see one of those, I can switch into him with Moltres in before Rocks, because Dugtrio really can't do much to me. He probably likely Earthquakes or whatever, and I have the Charty Berry, and then Marowak really can't do much to me either. Like, I'm physically offensive, so I can take 2 Shadow Bones, which is really nice, and I can roost off the damage, and Hurricane and do like 70% if he's not bulky. So we have a couple different options there with Fox, but really this thing is designed to check Scolipede so it doesn't run through my team, because in my mind, Scolipede runs Protect, because he needs to make sure he has Protect, otherwise Tapu, Koko, and Beedrill outspeed him, so he has to run Protect. And then I'm pretty sure he runs Poison Jab, because it's really good, Mega Horn, because of things like Bronzong and Umbreon. And then his 4th move is up in the air. Is it Swords Dance? Is it Baton Pass? Does he want a Baton Pass to Alolan Marowak? Is it Rock Slide or Earthquake? So you can see there's a lot of options. I don't think it's gonna be Rock Slide. I think he's gonna probably run Earthquake, potentially. I don't think it's gonna be Earthquake. I think it's gonna be Baton Pass, I really do, but I can't tell at this point in time. There's no way for me to really know. I can only just speculate, but Poison Jab, Mega Horn might be the only combination he needs, and then he'll probably run Mega Horn, so kind of iffy, but that's what I have this thing for. This thing also switches into Ninetales. I could take some hits from Ninetales and Flamethrower it back, unless he has Hidden Power Rock, and Superior. Obviously, I resist the Leaf Storm, and I can U-turn out, pivot, get some options there. So I like the pivoting option. It can't be trapped by Dugtrio, which is nice as well. So we have a couple things going there for us with Fox. The next Pokemon we're gonna be bringing is gonna be Bell here, our Bronzong. Bronzong is rocking pretty much max HP, a lot of defense, a little bit, good amount of special defense, a lot of special defense. Sassy nature with leftovers. This thing is a primary check to Latios. It's also a good check to Ninetales and Superior. Ninetales has to run like Nasty Plot Dark Pulse to get through this thing. So that's that as well. I can take one hit from the Scolipede, which is okay. Otherwise, this thing is designed to set up Stealth Rocks primarily, which will help me get chip damage on Scoly, Ninetales, and Marowak. And Shadow Ball is there for Lati. Gyro Ball hits a lot of things really well, and Toxic is there if I predict a switch. If it's something like Bronzong versus Ninetales, I think he's going into Marowak. I could Toxic it, wear it down, or go for a Shadow Ball. Kind of a middle ground play there. So we've got a couple options there. Toxic actually is kind of for Blastoise, I would say, mostly, to wear that thing down. But you can see we have a couple options. And Bronzong's just like a really good Pokemon, like I mentioned. It can switch into a lot of different things, like I said. It can't be trapped by Dugtrio because of Levitate. It can take on... I have this set up that I can make sure I can take a Devastating Drake and another Draco from Latios and still live the hit, and then Gyro Ball back. We could also, like I said, just kind of wear down the Ninetales pretty nicely. So we've got a couple different options there, and we do resist Superior's hits, and obviously Superior is very fast, so he might have to run like HP Fire or something like that to kind of take us on, but that's kind of good because we're thinning out its move pool. The next Pokemon we're going to be bringing is going to be our Honeydew here, Latias, coming out. We got Draco, Meteor, Psyshock, Defog, Healing Wish, Max Speed, Max Special Attack. This will put us as a speed tie with the Latios, and it also allows us to outspeed the Ninetales. Now, I almost ran Hidden Power Steel for Ninetales, but then I had to run E-Belt to knock it out in one shot, and I didn't really think it was worth it when Psyshock 2-shots it. If he Aurora Veils us, that could be annoying, but Latios is a very bulky Pokemon, so I know I can take a few hits from the Ninetales, at least 2, unless it's like Life Orb, Max Special Attack, blizzarding me, but I should be able to take the hits. This also provides another response to Blastoise. I speed tie with the Latios, as I mentioned. I can drop Dracos on things like Marowak and stuff like that. We outspeed a lot of his team, so a lot of good perks there. Obviously, Scolipede wrecks us, you know, and Blastoise can definitely take a few hits, so we have to be careful there. Superior most likely has to run Dragon Pulse because of Latios, so I'll keep that in mind as well, which also makes Bronzong a really good switch in. So that's kind of my thought process there, but really Draco, Meteor, Psyshock does a lot of damage to his team. He doesn't really have a good switch in option to me clicking Draco Meteor. His only switch-in is the Ninetales, and Psyshock does a lot to it. Soul Dew boosts my Dragon and Psychic moves by 20% without revealing our item, which is really nice, and I love the Healing Wish because the importance of a Pokemon like Bronzong in this match, and one other Pokemon I'll tell you at the end here, is very, very high. So having an opportunity to Healing Wish them is super crucial, and Defog is really important in this match because if he sets up screens and he's a Light Clay Aurora Veil variant, I need to get rid of those screens, so Defog gives me an option to do that. So that's kind of what our Honeydew is rocking with. The next Pokemon we're bringing is going to be Luna, our Umbreon here. Wish, Foul Play, Baton Pass, and Protect. We've got Calm Nature with a lot of HP, good amount of defense, and a lot of special defense. Kind of a similar build to the Bronzong. Wish, Foul Play, Baton Pass, Protect, like I mentioned. Foul Play destroys the Marowak. We could obviously take some hits there. We could switch into Blastoise, we could switch into Serperior, we could switch into Ninetales. This is primarily for Zoroark and gives me a Ghost Resist because Zoroark would kind of body my team in some ways. Like, as you can see, I have a couple dart weaknesses. Zoroark, if the right Zoroark came, it would be really hard to beat. So this gives me a reliable switch into that, and I love the dry Baton Pass. If you guys know, that's one of the strategies that I use a lot is Baton Passing without stats because it gives you momentum because moves go after switches. So for example, if it's like Umbreon versus Zoroark, I know the Zoroark's gonna switch out. It's kind of a bad example because he'll probably U-turn, but actually it is a good example. So he'll U-turn, I'll take the damage, and then I Baton Pass out after him. He U-turns out, goes into Latios, or let's say he goes into, what's a better counter? He goes into Scolipede, and then I know that Scolipede's on the field, so I can go into Moltres. So it kind of works out there and gives me the momentum that I'm looking for. And the next Pokemon we're gonna be bringing is gonna be our Mega Beedrill here. Beedrive, baby. U-turn, Poison Jab, Drill Run, and Pursuit. Adamant Nature, enough speed to outspeed the Doug Trio. I obviously can't outspeed the Scolipede after Speed Boost, but we outspeed everything else. Poison Jab decimates, you know, Serperior. We're a great offensive check to that. U-turn one-shots Latios, which is really cool, but I also have Pursuit for Latios and Marowak. So if I think there's a chance he could switch out and we have him in kill range, I can Pursuit, trap him, knock him out. Really like that. Drill Run is also there to do a little bit more damage to the Marowak, but I don't think he's switching out. And obviously Poison Jab just hits things really, really hard. So that's kind of a pretty straightforward Beedrill there. Max attack, a little bit of HP, but enough speed to outspeed Doug Trio. If he runs Scarf, Doug Trio is faster than us anyway. There's not much I could do. I just have to basically continuously click U-turn if he brings Doug Trio until I figure out what the Doug Trio is doing. But again, U-turn really kind of weakens his team a good amount, and this should give me an opportunity to get some good pivots around his squad. And then last but not least is going to be our primary wall breaker. It is Siren, our Primarina, and I told you guys Choice Specs Primarina is very, very scary, and this game is no exception to that. The great thing about Primarina is its typing allows it to switch into Blastoise pretty much every single time. Blastoise obviously carries, typically, like I said, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Water move. Primarina cares not about any of those. It resists all 4 of those moves. Dragon Pulse is immune, obviously, and you can click Moonblast, and he does not have a reliable Moonblast switch in. Both Marowak and Scolipede are 2-shot by Moonblast, and if I get Stealth Rocks up, then they will get absolutely decimated. I'm not sure on the exact calc. I mean, I could pop it open. We're modest, so we're gonna be hitting really, really hard, but if I open up Primarina and I put on a Choice Specs Primarina, I'm gonna just give you guys an idea of how strong this is. Like, it is insanity. So like, an offensive Scolipede will take 65 to 77.6% damage with a Moonblast, which means after rocks and a Life Orb hit, it gets knocked out. And then Marowak gets obliterated, dude. I'm faster than Marowak, by the way. I have enough speed to outspeed every form of Marowak. Moonblast is a 2-shot on offensive Marowak as well. So you can see there exactly why this thing is just such a threat to his team. It one-shots like the majority of the rest of the team. You might think that Ice Beam is a little weird on this, or I'm sorry, Aqua Jet is a little weird on this set. I had Hydro Pump, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? The chance of me actually clicking Hydro Pump are so slim because I don't want to risk the miss when I can just click Moonblast. Very rarely would Hydro Pump be better than Moonblast. So Aqua Jet is one of those weird moves where it doesn't do a lot, but it does like 25% to Marowak and like 15% to Scolipede. And I know that's not a lot, but it could be the difference between me getting swept by like a speed boosted Marowak or whatever it may be. So it may be important to do. So I'd rather have it than not have it. Again, I didn't think I would use Hydro Pump anyway. So that is our team, guys. Kind of the strategy going into this is really gonna depend on what team he brings. I gotta get the Moltres in early as a response to that Scolipede, keep him from speed passing if best I can. I wanna get my hazards up early, and I wanna use things like Primarina to break down. Every time Blastoise comes in, Primarina comes right in and is able to click Moonblast. And if I could take advantage of that, we could definitely put in some work, but I'm really scared of that Scolipede, and I gotta keep my walls healthy. I didn't mention this earlier, but Wish on Umbreon is really nice to keep Bronzong healthy, and then Healing Wish on Latios is there for Primarina, Bronzong primarily to keep them healthy. So That's the strategy going into the match against Kyle. Hopefully we can pick up a W. It's the first week of the season. I haven't really used a lot of these Pokemon before, so I'm a little iffy about this. It's weird the first time you ever use a new team, like in League. It's so weird because you don't really have a lot of comfort building with it, and you don't have a lot of comfort playing with it. I'm sure we'll get that in a few weeks, but I always tend to start seasons a little rough sometimes. But I'm excited about this match. Should be a good one. Definitely a tough one to start it off, but we'll do our best to pick up a W. I hope you guys enjoyed the team builder. Match should be up pretty soon, either tomorrow or the following day. So that's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I'll also go by aDrive, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace.